Hey, Scott Lara, thecruisegenius.com. Check out my cool YouTube neon light there. Thecruisegenius.com, this video brought to you by GigSky. If you're concerned about a high cell phone bill when you go on a cruise or if you travel overseas, you got to get GigSky. It's a data plan which uses your built-in eSIM to do data. Check it out, gigsky.com, then email me, slara1961@gmail.com for a super secret link and promo code to get your 10% off your GigSky data plan. So let's talk about cruise ports and about having a seamless cruise embarkation. So what is cruise embarkation? You're driving down to Port Canaveral, you're driving down to Fort Lauderdale, you're driving down to Miami, you're driving down to Port Canaveral, and you're getting ready to go on the cruise. Well, there's a lot of stress, right? You've already packed, or even if you fly, right? There's stress. So the number one thing I want to recommend is check in online as soon as possible. You'll get an email from the cruise line, usually 30 days beforehand. Hey, time to check in. Now, I know a person who will remain nameless, who insists on waiting till like the day or two before to check in. I don't understand it, I don't get it, but the person I know is gonna wait until the time to check in, which is fine. I don't. I check in the 30 days ahead of time. That's how I am. And so anyway, 30 days before your cruise sails, you want to check in online, scan your passport, enter your credit card number, your emergency contact information, all that stuff. Get that all done. And then I urge you with everything in my being, print out your boarding passes. We all know how technology is, right? Caitlin can be standing there at the cruise port, with her iPad, and okay, let me scan your thing, and it doesn't work. I'm alone, I'm afraid it doesn't work. And but it's 2024. We should be able to scan QR code. Blah blah blah. Don't trust it. Don't. If you print out your boarding pass on paper. Here you go, Caitlin. And Caitlin can scan it and you're off to the races. If you have it on your phone, your phone's not bright enough, your phone clicks off, whatever. You don't have Wi-Fi, you can't show the picture, whatever. Number one, do your check-in online early. Number two, print out your boarding pass. Number three, I recommend, like with your luggage tags, get those clear luggage tag holder things. You can buy them on Amazon, because if you just have the little sticky, luggage tag, or if you just use tape, they could fall off. You have to understand these baggage handlers are handling thousands of bags. So if you get those plastic sleeves, if you will, it's a little plastic sleeve, you just slide your luggage tag in there, and you got a little metal thing to hold it on. You're off to the races, you're good to go. Now, the different cruise ports, right? Like Jacksonville. I love everybody out of Jacksonville, at Jacksport, just great people, very kind people. They're gonna be kind and try to help you get through, but your job is to make it as easy as possible for them. Why? So you can move through quickly, especially if you got kids. The one thing I do recommend, and it's a difficult subject to talk about, but stepkids, right? 9 times out of 10, the cruise port people will not ask for like a letter or this or that. But if you do have a letter from the other step parent or the other parent authorizing you and notarized, they can take Billy and Timmy on a cruise, that's good to have. Why? Because that port person may be having a bad day, or maybe that person's new, and hey, where's your authorization? Where's your letter about taking your stepchild on a cruise? 9 times out of 10, it won't be a problem, but it's that one time out of 10. Let me give you an example. Years ago, I was a chaperone for a high school group of kids. And I had each parent fill out the authorization form and just call your cruise line or just call your travel agent. They know what you're talking about the authorization form, just in case Billy falls down, that the ship's doctor can fix Billy's arm. And having that authorization is just, you want to avoid as many headaches as possible. I overthink things, okay? I want to make sure that things go as smoothly as possible because I'm a type A person, I'm blonde. I want things to go smoothly, and I do everything humanly possible so I have the tools to make things go smoothly. Like I said, checking in early online. Number 2, having a printout of the boarding pass, and of course any kind of paperwork. For example, if my wife and I were ever to take our grandkids on a cruise, I would definitely have the notarized form saying that we're allowed to take them on the cruise, and in case anything ever happens to them, like a medical reason, that we'll be able to take care of them. Let me give you an example, and this is kind of personal. My daughter and son-in-law have traveled. They've gone on Virgin Voyages cruises, they've gone to Breck, they've gone to St. Thomas, and every time they go out of town, my wife and I get a notarized letter giving us medical authority to take them to the doctor, because the last thing you want to do is take a kid to a doctor or take a kid to a hospital. Who are you? Are you the parent? The questions start coming, right? Yes, I'm the grandparent. And here's the form. Here's the form right here, the notarized form of my daughter and son-in-law giving my wife and I, the grandparents, authorization to make sure that, the arm, the throat, ears, eyes, whatever's wrong, that there aren't problems. And I will tell you, when you have the paper, the person at the other end of the desk is like, oh, whew, okay, they got their stuff together, right? 9 times out of 10, people don't have their stuff together. When's the last time you've been at a Walmart or you've been at a Target or somewhere and somebody takes out a checkbook? Hello, it's 2024. What are you doing with a checkbook? And then what is that person behind if you go to a real place now like a Target, they have these automated things, right? Employee of the month, the automated number 24. But anytime you see grandma or grandpa with the check, it's grandma, not grandpa. If it's grandma with the checkbook, what is the cashier going to ask for? ID. Let me see your, so it's holding up the line. I want to move quickly. I want to, because here's the deal. I don't know about you. I'm going to tell you about me. When I go on a cruise, I want it to be seamless. And the people behind the counters, they're looking for red flags. Let me give you an example. I know a couple, let's say their names are William and Agnes. Let's just say that. And so they went to a Carnival ship in Port Canaveral, and the lady behind the desk said, welcome back, William and Agnes. And Agnes, oh, he's Bill, and I'm, Susie. Well, what do you think that lady behind the desk did? She grabs all the papers, she grabs the passports, and she goes to talk to her supervisor, and, oh, welcome back, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Because Agnes didn't like the person saying their legal first names. Now, we all know why they use the legal first names, right? Because you're talking about TSA, and you're talking about immigration, you're talking about legal. You're talking about legal. And so, please don't get upset if they use your legal name or your first name. And it's usually never the guys, it's always the wife. I hate throwing that rock, but it's true. It's usually the wife. Got to have some kind of drama with it. It's never, the guy just wants to get it, just like when guys go shopping, right? They want to get in, they want to get out. They don't want to go looking around. They don't want to go trying a bunch of shirts on. I need a shirt. I know I'm an XL. Get in, get out, next. But it's usually the wives or the girlfriends that want to bring up this kind of drama stuff that holds up the line, that makes the person behind the counter throw a red flag up. And I know that William told Agnes up on the Lido deck, hey, listen, if you go with me on cruises anymore, you can't throw these red flags up, because the person behind the desk, they're looking to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. They want, first of all, they do want people to move through quickly, but they want things to be accurate, because the fact of the matter is, you may have had people who have broken the law. They may have a warrant out for their arrest. And so that's something in the back of these people's minds too. Now, maybe not so much when they're getting on the ship, which they should be looking at that before they get on the ship, but definitely when people are getting off the ship. I mean, I've seen it one time where this guy was walking off the ship, and man, the feds were right there to put, they didn't put him in handcuffs. They pulled him to the side. Hey, we see you got a warrant. Hey, we see you got back child support. Hey, we see X. Hey, we see Y. That's a number one time when criminals get caught is getting off the ship. Usually not on the ship, it's coming off the ship. And that goes back to that. Remember a couple months ago, one guy was from Oklahoma, I think, and a very close friend of mine's from Oklahoma, so I can throw this rock, about the bullets in the backpack. The airline didn't catch it. The cruise line didn't catch it when the guy was boarding, but in Grand Turk, they sure caught it, didn't they? That metal detector, you got 3 bullets in your backpack. And that guy was in jail for how long? A month, 3 months? And finally, Congress, our U.S. Congress, flew down there, some of the congressional people, and got it taken care of. So let's review. Let's make embarkation as easy as possible. Number 1, print out your boarding pass. Number 2, check in early online. And, get to the cruise port at the right time. If you have a boarding time at 12:30, don't think you can get there at 11 and get on. You may be able to get on, but there's a reason why these cruise lines, 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30, 1. Why do you think they have that? I'll tell you why. They want it to be orderly. They want it to have some order to it. So the people from 11 to 11:30, there may be 250 people. 11:30 to 12, 250 people. So that things are moving, at a good pace. If everybody shows up at 11, 2,500 people, can you imagine that chaos? And so this last cruise my family and I went on was MSC Seashore. My boarding time was 12:30. Well, we didn't get there until 12:30 to port parking space, and they drove us over, and I think it was like 1:15, and we got in the line, and it moved pretty quickly. And I think my daughter and son-in-law, their time was 1 o'clock, and they were running a little bit late too, but they got on pretty quickly. And thanks MSC Seashore, and thank you Port Canaveral, thank you Port Parking Space for making it relatively, a port parking space made it very easy. I will say Port Canaveral, that Terminal 10 is kind of far away. If it's raining, it's game over. That's why we use port parking space. But anyway, if you have any questions about embarkation, email me, slara1961@gmail.com. If you want to book a cruise, email me. And for that 10% off at GigSky, slara1961@gmail.com. Embarkation tips from thecruisegenius.com.